Welcome to the deep dive. Have you ever watched a major event unfold and just thought, how did the predictions get it so wrong? How did the story change so fast?
Uh-huh. Especially in politics, right? Where things seem certain one minute and then completely flip the next.
Exactly. Well, if that resonates, you're definitely in the right place today.
Mm.
We're taking a deep dive into, well, a really fascinating and frankly head-spinning moment from recent political history.
Right. Our mission today is to unpack this critical disconnect we sometimes see. You know, the gap between the pre-election polling, the expert commentary, and then what actually happened on the ground.
And we're doing this using a real-time audio commentary as our source.
Yeah, it's like listening in as the analysis was happening before the final results were known.
Mm.
It gives you a real snapshot of the thinking at the time. What were they seeing? What did they think it meant?
Absolutely. And this isn't about, refighting old battles. It's really an opportunity for you, our listener, to get a kind of a shortcut to understanding how these predictions get talked about, what weight different polls carry, and just how quickly those confident narratives can shift when the actual votes start rolling in. Okay, let's get into it.
So one of the first things the commentary really zeroed in on, which is crucial, is the difference between national polls and swing state polls.
Right, because the national number can look huge, but it doesn't decide the election.
Precisely. A candidate could be up 15 points nationally, but that's almost, well, irrelevant in the U.S. system. It's state by state.
The Electoral College.
Exactly. So those swing states, they are the determinative ones. And the commentary made it super clear that the numbers there were way more important than the big national picture.
And according to this commentary we analyzed, the picture in those swing states for one candidate, well, it was described as pretty bleak.
Yeah, dire was the word used. A disaster, an emergency situation based on those specific state polls.
So what did the commentators think that meant for the campaign's chances at that point?
Well, what's really striking looking back is the almost complete faith placed in those numbers at the time. It makes the eventual outcome even more, well, surprising.
Right.
The commentary really captured a sense of perceived panic. So, take Florida. The poll they cited showed Hillary Clinton leading by 6 points, a solid lead.
6 points, yeah, it's not small.
Not at all. But then, as the night went on, CNN eventually projected Donald Trump would carry Florida. Quite a miss.
Okay, so Florida was one example.
But it wasn't the only one, right? What about somewhere like Michigan? Right. Michigan, similar story, but the poll margin was even bigger. The commentary pointed to a poll showing Clinton leading by 9 points there.
9 points. I mean, by any traditional measure, that looks pretty locked down.
You'd think so. But again, as we know, Donald Trump won Michigan.
So that really makes you wonder about the polling models themselves, or maybe how they were being interpreted.
It definitely forces you to ask questions. And then there's Pennsylvania. The polls there were even more lopsided, according to the source. Clinton leading by 11 points.
11. Wow.
Uh-huh. But again, Fox News ended up calling Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. This pattern,
Yeah.
state after state. It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, but the one that really stands out, the most maybe astonishing one from the commentary, was New Hampshire.
Ah, yes. New Hampshire. Smaller state, but still crucial in the swing state map.
And the poll they highlighted. Clinton leading by 17 points.
17, yeah. It sounds almost unbelievable, right?
Totally. Yet, when all the votes were counted, Donald Trump actually won the state. Not by a lot, maybe 2 or 3 percentage points ahead of Clinton, but still a win, a massive swing from that poll.
That initial assessment in the commentary, seeing numbers like that across Florida, Pennsylvania, Michigan, New Hampshire, especially less than 100 days out from the election, it was framed as an absolute emergency.
A 5-alarm fire.
Exactly. The analysis was blunt. There is nothing you can do in a polling circumstance like this that is more important than trying to turn around your numbers in states like this. It showed this deep belief that the situation was almost unrecoverable based on those polls.
And that analogy they used, it really paints a picture.
Oh, the fire one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a campaign on fire that is sinking into a lake that is also on fire. And the fire truck that just showed up to help is on fire, and what's shooting out of its fire hose is more fire.
Yeah. It goes on, like, you're just cooked. You're in terrible shape. That's irredeemable.
I mean, talk about vivid imagery. It really captures the level of perceived desperation, the sense of total collapse based purely on those swing state polls.
Which then raised this other question the commentary wrestled with. If things look so, quote, horrific in Florida, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Why was Donald Trump spending time campaigning in Maine?
Right, that seemed odd.
Very odd, according to the commentary. The skepticism was really clear. They were saying things like, there's nothing Donald Trump can do for his campaign in Maine, and asking, rhetorically, what is he doing in Maine?
It seemed like a disconnect, strategically.
Especially when you contrasted it, as the commentary did, with the Clinton campaign.
Yeah, what were they reportedly doing?
Well, the commentary mentioned reports that the Clinton campaign felt so confident about states like Virginia and Colorado that they believed those states were already put away. So much so, they were apparently taking down their TV ads there, redirecting resources, presumably.
So total confidence on one side, seemingly strained strategy on the other, based on those polls.
And the commentary even got into the weeds a bit on Maine. They mentioned the theoretical possibility of Maine splitting its electoral votes.
Ah, right. Maine and Nebraska are the two states that can do that.
Exactly. It's rare for the whole state, but you can win just one electoral vote by winning a specific congressional district. Maine has 2 districts.
So maybe Trump was aiming for just one vote from the more rural conservative district?
That was the theory discussed. But the commentators pointed out, even if that was the goal, the district he might have had a shot at, the 2nd district, its hub is more Bangor. But he didn't go to Bangor. He went to Portland, in the other district, which just deepened the mystery for the commentators, reinforcing their view that it didn't quite make strategic sense at that moment.
So, okay, the commentary paints this picture of disaster based on polls, confusing strategies.
Yeah.
But then the actual votes start coming in. How did that narrative, that irrecoverable disaster story, start to change in real time, according to the source?
Well, predictably, it shifted dramatically. As the counts progressed, the commentary started noting, the increasing difficulty for Hillary Clinton.
The path was narrowing.
Right. The observation was she was falling behind in all 3 of those big states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. That initial certainty based on the polling was evaporating pretty quickly.
And what about Maine? That whole puzzling campaign stop? Did that one electoral vote end up being a factor?
Well, interestingly, yes, Maine did split its votes, just as was theoretically possible.
So Clinton
got 3 electoral votes from Maine, and Donald Trump did pick up that one single electoral vote from Maine's 2nd congressional district.
So maybe the trip wasn't entirely pointless.
Well, perhaps not pointless, but the final observation in the commentary, as the broader picture became clearer, was that Trump may well not need that single Maine vote anyway.
Because the bigger states were falling into place for him.
Exactly. Because he had leads building in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and there weren't many votes left to count in those key places. The path for Clinton had effectively closed.
And the final word from the commentary.
The final assessment mentioned was stark. There would be no Hillary Clinton concession speech that night. A real sense of finality setting in.
Wow. This whole deep dive, it really underscores how these closely watched predictions, even ones based on lots of polling data and expert analysis, can just be completely upended by reality. It makes you think, what were the assumptions baked in that maybe blinded people, even smart observers, to what was actually developing?
It absolutely shows how dynamic, how, unpredictable these major events can be. And it highlights why understanding the actual mechanics, like the Electoral College, the specific role of swing states, is so vital.
Not just looking at a top-line national number.
Right. Understanding those underlying factors is key if you want to make sense of these shifting narratives, especially when you're trying to figure it out in real time, like those commentators were.
And maybe for you, listening right now, it's worth considering how often our own understanding of things is shaped by that initial expert take, by the projected trends.
That's a great point.
What's the value in actually going back, revisiting those moments, and seeing how things really played out versus how they were expected to? What does that tell us about, thinking critically when we take in information day to day?